Alright guys, so I'll show you guys how to make a flat screen TV first of all. First off, you need this shelf, and you stack it on top of an identical shelf facing the same direction, of course. And then you want to take your picture and you want it to stick to the back of the bottom one. And how you can tell is if you take this one off, you should be able to move this around like so. And then what you do to get it to lift up is you set it on top of your let me set this back down for a second. Move this spot here. And if you set it on top of this thing, it will automatically, and you just repeatedly put it up and down, and it'll automatically lift it up in the air, and you can put it at the desired height that you want. And then if you pick up the shelf, don't pick up the picture, pick up the shelf, you have yourself a flat screen TV. Easy peasy. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get rid of these, and I'll show you guys how to do the merging into shelves and stuff. I'm going to show you this one shelf that everybody wants to put stuff in but can't. First things first, you put the shelf down. You do need a spot of land that you can actually take your item, and you see how it kind of disappears into the ground. It'll work pretty much anywhere. It's really hard to do up at the golf course, just so you know. There's a couple spots that it works pretty good up there, but any of the super flat areas it does not. And you want to make sure that each item that you're going to put inside here actually is going to fit inside of there. Otherwise it'll stick out the sides. So we're going to start with this plant, and you can take it over, and as it disappears, the more it disappears, the farther it's going to drop down. So you want to put it just a little bit at a time, and you can kind of adjust it from there until you pretty much get it to where it's on the shelf. Now you can always, let's see, what add this fish to, just because we can. Let's see, yeah, make sure it's level enough. And again, as you continue to do this, you can move it down. It does take some trial and error on how far you want to get it down to put the next items up. This one still might work because the bottom shelf is just a little bit bigger than the rest of them. I'll put a plushie on here or something. You can kind of get an idea. Well, here, let's put a couple plants up here. So let's put that one. That one. How about this one? Again, you want to make sure. Oh, this one's a little too far. So you cannot remove any of the items from the shelf unless you get rid of the whole entire shelf and basically redo it. So again, we're gonna find that little sweet spot on the ground where we can. Oop, that one didn't go down, so we can move it over a little bit. And just pick it up and put it down, and your final results. If you space them right, of course this would be a little bit higher. If I'd put it down a little bit earlier, but then that's how you get the items onto the shelf out in a camp. Some other things you can actually do with that are, like, say, kind of a fun one is, like, you can take this huge lamp, this floor lamp, and yes, it will power through the item, and what you do here is just like the other way. We're going to go down quite a bit further so we can. And you can actually, with trial and error, you can get it to line up pretty close, and then any power that's around it will power that lamp, and you can turn it on by the top. Let's see, let's grab those. Another thing you can do, I'm sure you've seen lots of people do, is if you take a table, you can use pretty much any table you want, or yeah, like the side tables. The White Springs ones, they look the best, in my opinion. The legs seem to line up pretty close, and what you can do is you get it exactly the way you want it. Make sure it's, you know, not crooked. This one's a little crooked. I'm gonna scoot it forward just a tad, and then again, pick up the bottom. Yep, go quite enough. And you can merge your sink into your table. Like I said, you can pretty much do anything that will stack on top of each other, same exact way. Sometimes you have to do it 3 or 4 or 5 times to get it to fit right. I'll show you another little trick. I kind of made this afterwards, but we're going to put it together. For something like this is a little bit trickier. So what we want to do is, to get all of the shelves full, is of course you want to use the items that are obviously going to fit. Alright, so now that guy's in there, let's go ahead and put the ship in the bottle, and it's going to go on the middle, or the top bottom shelf, I guess. And again, gets down right about there. And you can put, say, your next row of items. Again, this is another trial and error type of thing, so it does take a little bit of practice. You'll get the hang of it really quick, though. To the point where I haven't done it in a while, so I'm a little off. Probably should have put the ship down a little bit earlier, but that's how you can get things on different shelves. You just have to kind of play with it. And like I said, different distances depending on how much of the item is actually in the ground. Alright, I'm going to show you one more fun one. I usually use these in my camp. I didn't in this last one due to budget issues. But with a Communal Fire Pit, you can actually make it completely circular. And let's drop it down so we can get a better angle on it. It's not really hard. The ends, you just want to make sure they overlap about the same on both sides. Give it a little, oops, a little too far. Ah, there we go. I'm going to scoot it over just a tad so they line up. Come on. Like so. Yeah, that's pretty close. Probably just a little bit. Oops. There we go. So then you can take this and once again use our little merging trick. Oops. Yep. And then you have yourself a round fire pit. And you can get it to actually line up perfectly so you don't have that little gap, but it just kind of gives you the idea of how to do it. It looks like it's a little off. But when you go to move this, though, make sure you pick up the bottom one. If you pick up the top one, it'll actually pick it up. So. Okay, now that we're in the shelter, I'll show you exactly how these to do the ones like this. So again, you're going to want to grab that shelf. And most of the shelves are like this. So rather than having to merge it like you did before, just take the item. It always helps if you put it on the floor first and then pick it up. What you do is you find the spot that you want it. So you want this fish. Sometimes you gotta rotate it just to get it so there it goes. Oh, a little bit higher. There. Put a little fish on there. Again, same thing. Items will fit on those as well. Find that the plants, the fish, the Nuka-Cola lamps, as you see, like the ship in the bottle. A couple of the plushies will fit in there. The smaller fish works better, but you can always get a bigger one in there. You'll notice they kind of repeat a little bit. Alright guys, that's for the merging of items and whatnot in your camps. I'm going to make the other video of the round structure that's behind me and with the roofs and how to get those to actually snap on the way they're supposed to. Until next time.